Hey, what's going on, everybody? And welcome back to JohnnyKpicks. And in this video, I'll be going over my full card picks and predictions, along with the bets that I'm looking at so far for UFC Paris, Gane versus Spivac. First things first, please hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel or you just haven't yet. Subscribe on those notifications as well. Just hit that little bell right next to the subscribe button and leave some comments below on your favorite fights of the card or your favorite bets, who you think who the underdog's going to be and who's going to be the one to take down the biggest, or who's the biggest underdog, let's put it that way. But yeah, I was out of town last weekend, so I actually didn't get to watch any of UFC Singapore yet. I was gonna rewatch at least a couple fights, but I didn't get to yet. So I'm not gonna go over UFC Singapore other than my bets and picks. So my picks, I did end up going 10-3 on my picks. For my bets, the other way here. I had 7 bets. I won 2 of the 7 and I lost minus 3.62 units. So, not the greatest betting. All my props that I really liked ended up not hitting. The Ryan Span under, the Nakamura under didn't hit. Let me get to that real quick and I'll show you all the badness that just happened. Let's see. Santos, I knew that was going to be a risky bet, but it was from what I've seen and heard, it was a fairly close fight. Aaron won though, pretty clearly. Bedoya ruined everyone's parlays. Costa getting the knockout in the first round, which I thought that was going to go over 1.5. So, like I said, all these props that I did in Bedoya kind of just ruined my whole betting day. But minus 3.62 units. So hopefully, we'll get on the winning streak here. There's a couple, I got a couple bets at the moment right now, and we're going to look for more bets as we go throughout the week. So once those props drop and stuff, then we'll get going. So, like I said, this is gonna be a little bit quicker video because I'm not going to go through the whole card because I didn't even watch it. So, a couple fights that got canceled as of late. The William Gomez fight and Almeida fight that just got canceled today, a little bit earlier in the day. The Taylor Gavarov fight also got canceled kind of recent, maybe a day or two ago. So we only got 10 fights at the moment, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do add maybe 1 or 2 more fights, maybe a couple last minute replacement fighters. So let's start the night off with Farid Basharat versus Kledson Rodrigues. Basharat is 10-0, 26 years old, 5'8", with a 71-inch reach. And Kledson is 8-2, 27 years old, 5'6", with a 67-inch reach. So Basharat, he's a very well-rounded fighter. He's got good striking, good wrestling and grappling, really good takedowns, good volume and good takedown defense. He looked good in his last fight against Blackshear, but he did slow down a little bit in the third round, and Blackshear had him pretty almost wrapped up, and I think it was just a triangle from his back, and he almost had that late in the third, but he survived and he got the win. But he's a pretty solid fighter. He's not really bad anywhere, but he's really good. Rodrigues, though, he's moving up to bantamweight for this fight. I believe it's his first time and he's done that. He's had a couple missed weight fights that I think the last one it was actually canceled before he didn't even take the fight. He's a well-rounded fighter himself. He's got very good striking. He's got power in his hands, good kicks. He's got those crazy spinning elbows. He likes to show off a little bit, if you want to say. Good grappling too. Takedown defense though is just okay. It's not the greatest, but he does work his way back up. He doesn't want to stay on there too much or stay on his back for too long. But good card or good fight to start the card off. And I don't like the betting line whatsoever. I do think Farid wins though, but he's just not Javid. Let's put it that way. If this was Javid Basharat fighting Rodrigues, the line warrants it, and maybe even minus 400 range. But like I said, I still think Basharat's good, but I just don't like the line. I think it should be closer because Rodrigues is very good as well. And I do think the better wrestling from Basharat is going to be what separates these two in this fight. And I think Basharat's going to lean on that wrestling and get some control time. And yeah, on the feet, I think it'll be fairly close. But the wrestling is where Basharat should win this fight. So give me Basharat to win by decision, I'll say. Both guys are tough. Bets, I would look at the over if you don't want to pick a side. I know a lot of people are going to pick Basharat, which for good reason. I'm not going to bet the line, though. I just think I don't know. I'm just not full. I want to see Basharat one more time, maybe, and wouldn't mind anybody taking a shot on Rodrigues because he's very explosive, very dangerous, and he can get it done. So yeah, I'll just take Basharat. Maybe look at the over under prop and see where that's at. Next one is going to be Loosa versus Reese McKee. Loosa is 9-3, 29 years old, 5'10" with a 74-inch reach. And McKee is 13-4-1, 27 years old, 6'2", with a 78-inch reach. So Loosa, solid striker with good boxing. He's got good power too. He's durable, good volume. He can be a little hittable at times. Sometimes he just stays in the middle and doesn't really move his head too much. He got very good takedown defense. He does have good wrestling, good takedowns as well, and good top control. McKee, also very solid striker. He's got power in his hands, throws a lot of volume. He does like to stay at range, but he is explosive as well. So he does go in and dart back out. And takedown defense, though, is not that great. And he can be controlled if he does get taken down. And again, I think on the feet, it would be close, and maybe you can give McKee a slight edge on the feet, but I do think Loosa should be able to win this fight. He's a little bit more well-rounded with that wrestling, kind of like the same fight I just broke down. I think the wrestling is going to be able to, he's going to be able to dictate where this fight goes, Loosa, and I think he's going to use a lot of wrestling. I don't think he should keep this fight on the feet for the whole 15 minutes or whatever, but he should mix in some takedowns. He should be able to get the takedowns and get some control time, good grounded pound, and just go from there. So I'm going to say Loosa wins by decision. Both guys are pretty durable, and I think it'll be a fairly close fight, but I just think Loosa is going to be the more well-rounded guy. Bets, I would say Loosa money line is not bad at minus 170, 180 range. You can look at the over again. I think both guys are, I think this fight will go over. I wouldn't say they're super dangerous, but they're both durable. So that's what I would see for this one. But I do like Loosa though. But McKee, he has a chance. He's pretty dangerous. Next one we got is going to be Norma Cornolle versus Jocelyn Edwards. Nora is 6-1, 34 years old, 5'7", not sure her reach. And Edwards is 13-4, 27 years old, 5'8", with a 70-inch reach. So we got, let's see, Nora making her UFC debut, and there's a lot of fighters that are making their UFC debuts on this card. She's a pretty good striker. She does have good power in her hands. She likes to use her elbows and knees. Always goes for the finish, which is always fun to see. She can wrestle and grapple. Uh, does have a lot of finishes on her record. I think she's got 6 finishes. Maybe I think her one decision was a decision loss. She didn't get knocked out. I'll just double check. I don't want to lie. Yeah, she's only lost by decision, and all of her wins have come by finish. Um, she hasn't really fought the greatest competition though. She is beating them and finishing them, which is always good to see. But a lot of her fights have not gone for too long. First round finishes, maybe early second. So she's only been decision, I believe, one time. And other than that, first round, second round, first round. So she gets out of there in the first or second round. Edwards, very good kickboxer. She uses her kicks more so than her hands. She's got good kicks up the middle. She stays at range very well. She's durable. She does have decent cardio, but she does kind of slow down as the fight goes on a little bit with her volume, but she still has pretty good volume. Takedown defense, though, I mean, it's not awful, but if she's up against the cage, it's a little harder for her to get taken down. But if not, she gets taken down in the middle of the cage pretty easily, and that's kind of a little red flag. Um, But if she does get taken down, she's on her back, she can be controlled. She doesn't really know what to do, but she does throw up some submissions if she can, but she doesn't work herself back up as well as I would like. But this is a very interesting fight. And I know Edwards has a lot of holes in her game, and we've seen her in 3 or 4 UFC fights, actually maybe more than that, 5 UFC fights at least. But this is Nora's making her UFC debut. She's 34 years old. She's from France, in Paris. I think she's gonna go for the finish. And she's very live to get the finish. But if she doesn't get that finish, I think she's gonna start the gas out, and then Edwards is gonna take over and just stay at range, use her kicks, and win this fight like she usually does, do a very close decision. And I think Nora could even potentially win the first round. And if Edwards survives, I think she can win the last 2. So I'm going to go with Edwards. I know the line is super close. Maybe this is a good live betting opportunity if you don't want to lay any money on either side, because I do think this will be another close fight. It just depends on what happens in the first round for me. If Nora's going to go for it, doesn't get that finish, then I'm going to like Edwards a lot. So I'll probably live bet her at that point. But if not, we'll see where the line goes. But bets, you can do either side. You can look at the over. Would I be shocked if it goes under? It would probably be on the Nora side. I don't think Edwards is going to be able to finish Nora, even if she is, unless she gets like death gassed, because Edwards is just not a finisher. So I'm going to go Edwards to win by decision, though. Next one we got is going to be Zara Farron versus Jacqueline Cavalcanti. Hopefully, I did that decently. Farron is 6'5", 39 years old, 5'8", with a 73-inch reach. And Jacqueline's 5'1", 26 years old, 5'9", and I'm not sure her reach right there. But Zairn or Zara is a solid striker. She's got good power in her hands. She doesn't really have a ground game whatsoever. She's just going to stay up there and strike. And she does slow down as the fight goes on. Basically, she is, I don't want to say a one-round fighter, but she looks pretty good in the first round. And then she fades as the fight goes on. But she's durable, and she sticks in there as long as she can. But you could tell her volume fades after the first. And Jacqueline's making her UFC debut. She's a pretty good striker with quick hands, good leg kicks as well. Likes to push forward. She can mix in some takedowns here and there and grapple, but she is mainly a striker. And obviously, since she's only fought about 6 times, she hasn't really fought the greatest competition either. But this is going to be, we'll see what happens here. 13-year age gap, but I got to go with the younger fighter. And Zara has a little trouble making weight at times. So that's another little bit of red flag for her. So I'm going to go with the younger fighter and Jacqueline to win this fight. Um, Zairn's going to be live in the first round, but other than that, I think she's going to fade. And then I think Jacqueline should be able to outstrike her, outvolume her, keep a good pace on her, and win probably a clear 29-28 or 30-27 decision. Bets, I don't like the line for her, even though she's making her UFC debut. So, and it's women's MMA. So maybe look at the over here. I don't think there will be a finish unless it's going to be on the Zara side, but I do think Jacqueline should be able to win this fight if she survives the first round. I'd probably stay away from this fight. I wouldn't bet anything. Next one we got is going to be Morgan Charriere. Hopefully, I said that decently, versus Manolo uh, Zecchini. Zecchini. That's what it is. It's like zucchini, but Zecchini. Sorry. I was laughing when I read that one the first time. Morgan, though, 18, 9, and 1, 27 years old, 5'7". Not sure his reach. And Zecchini is 11 and 3, 26 years old, 5'8". And I'm not sure his reach either. They didn't want to put the reach on here for either guy. So it is what it is. Let's see. Morgan, he's a powerful striker, likes to push forward. He always likes to stay at range too, but he doesn't really have the greatest ground game, but he is good in the clinch if it does get close up. If they get close, he has a good clinch. He has good knees. He's tough and he's durable. He's only been finished or knocked out once. No, he hasn't. He only been finished once. I'm sorry. So he is durable. He's got 10 knockouts. But he does go to decision a pretty decent amount of times too. So he does have good cardio and everything like that. And then Zecchini is, let's see, he is a powerful striker. He can be a little too aggressive, but he is very powerful. He can knock you out in the first round. Doesn't really have a ground game either. He can slow down as the fight goes on, but he's durable too. I don't think he's been finished, and if he has, it's probably one time. Okay, he's been finished a couple times in his career, once by knockout, and he has a ton of knockouts too, usually in the first or second round. But this is going to be an interesting fight. Both guys are making their UFC debut. I don't like the betting line. Like I'm not that confident in Morgan making his UFC debut, but I do think he has a little bit more tools in his toolbox. But Zecchini, I mean, he's got power. Like I think he has more power than Morgan, but I think Morgan can clinch up with them, drag this fight into the later rounds, and maybe get a late finish or decision win. And that's how I see this one going. Not going to touch it from a betting angle. So give me Morgan to win. I'm going to say by I'll say by like a third round knockout or decision. Maybe if you want to play Morgan, maybe look at that prop. Or you can look at the under if you think both these guys are going to go for it. Um, I know Zecchini will go for it in the first round. That's what he does, and if he doesn't get it, he's going to start slowing down a bit. But I think again, Morgan's and from France, he may go for it, and they're both going to be engaging. So maybe you can look at the under here, see where it's at. But I would probably stay away from this fight. But give me, like I said, give me Morgan to win. I'll say late knockout or decision. I don't know which one. All right, we got another one here. Both guys are making their UFC debut. We got Giannis Ghemmouri versus Kaolin Loughran. Sorry, Giannis is 12-1, 28 years old, 5'9". Not sure his reach. They must have not put those reaches on here anymore. Interesting. I just read some. And then Loughran is 8-0, 27 years old, 5'6", and I'm not sure his reach on this. So, like I said, he's Giannis is making his UFC debut. He's a very good technical striker. He's got good kicks. He can use some takedowns here and there if he wants to, but he's mainly going to be a striker. He's not really the most dangerous guy, but he does have good cardio and he's durable. And Loughran making his UFC debut. He's a powerful striker. He's not the most technical guy, but he does throw most of his shots are like looping, but they're very powerful and he can knock out anybody. He's got a lot of finishes in the first round, second round, early finishes. He can be a little hittable if he does get too aggressive, but he also can mix in some takedowns here and there as well. He's got decent wrestling. But again, this is another tough one. The line is a little crazy. Like all these new guys are getting minus 300s and I think they're fairly close fights that they can go either way. But I'm going to go with the more dangerous guy here. I'm going to go with Loughran to win. I think he does get that knockout. I'll say like early second round. I think the first round will be just both guys feeling each other out a little bit, trying to get their range, seeing what they want to do. And I think the second round hits. I think Loughran's going to be able to get that knockout. So with my pick, give me Loughran to win by knockout. I'm not super confident because again, these guys are making their UFC debut and one guy's from France, and the jitters are always a big factor. Staying away from this from betting though, I wouldn't mind looking at the under, or if you do like Loughran to win, maybe you can look at inside the distance. I think he's the guy that's going to be able to finish one another. I don't think Giannis will be able to. So if you're on Giannis, maybe look at third round decision prop. I mean, I guess you could just take a money line plus 250 is pretty crazy. So give me Loughran to win. I'll say by knockout. Not super confident. Don't like the money line for either guy. All right. Now we're getting to the guys that aren't making their. Well, we do got one guy. I lied. Volkan Oezdemir versus Bogdan Guskov. Oezdemir is 18-7, 33 years old, 6'2" with a 75-inch reach. See, there's the reach. And Guskov is 14-2, 30 years old, 6'3", doesn't have his reach on there. So, Oezdemir, very good striker with good boxing. He had pretty good power in his hands. Hasn't knocked out anybody in a little bit, but it's been a little bit. But he does have power. He's durable. He throws good volume. He's got decent cardio, very good takedown defense. He does have some wrestling he can mix in here and there, but he doesn't really use it that often. But he's very experienced. He's fought the best of the best in the light heavyweight division, and he's number 9 in the world right now in the UFC. Guskov is making his UFC debut. It is somewhat short notice. It's not super short notice, but it is short notice. He's a powerful striker. He's got good takedowns and good ground and pound. He's pretty durable. He's got okay cardio. Most of his finishes have been early on in the first or second round. He's not really fighting the greatest competition. And I believe he's only been knocked out once, but he does have a ton of knockouts, and they're all early, like for 30 seconds, a minute, 3 minutes. So they're all in the first round. So to me, I'm going to go with the experience here. The guy who's fought the better competition, who's been in the UFC, he knows what to do at the right time, and that's going to be Oezdemir. Not to say that this Guskov guy is a bum or anything, but he is beating not good guys on the regional scene. But he is winning by first round knockouts. That's always good to see. But we don't know what he's going to look like later in the fight. Volkan's been in those positions before. He's gone the distance. He's slugged it out with some of the best, and the people that he's losing to are like really good guys. Nikita Krylov is solid, Magomed good, Yuri ex-champion, and he's beating the guy. And he beat Rakic and he beat Paul Craig, and Paul Craig looked pretty crappy in that fight, but he looked good in his last fight. But yeah, I mean, Guskov's live for a knockout. I mean, Volkan doesn't have the greatest of chins, but I think like I said, I think he's a little bit more technical on the feet. I think he's going to be able to survive the first round. Maybe use clinch up against Guskov if he gets a little too crazy, wear him down a bit. And I think after the first round, again, this is like a trend I see in this. A lot of guys are going to go for it, and they're making their UFC debuts. And if they don't get that first round or a round and a half knockout, they're going to start fading. And I think this is what's going to happen. And I do think the experience will take over too. I'll say later in the fight, I'll say like second round knockout. I think he gets it. I think Guskov's going to just, be a little tired, and then Volkan will land that one knockout shot. Bets, I would look at Oezdemir to win money line. I like his money line at -160 range. I think that's pretty good. You can look at the under here if you think Guskov has a chance to get that knockout, which I don't blame you. It's another good look, but it's about all I would look at the moment. I do think Oezdemir gets this one done. All right, probably one of the better fights of the card that I'm really looking forward to is Benoit Saint-Denis versus Thiago Moises. Saint-Denis, 11-1, 27 years old, 5'11", 73-inch reach. And Moises is 17-6, 28 years old, 5'9", with a 70.5-inch reach. So Saint-Denis is a well-rounded fighter. He's got really good wrestling and takedowns. He's got good grappling and good submissions. He does have pretty good striking as well, very powerful strikes, good leg kicks, as we saw in his last fight. And he's super durable, as we've seen in his UFC debut. Good cardio. The only little red flag for him with me is he is a little too hittable at times on the feet. Other than that, I think that Benoit is very, very good. Thiago Moises is also well-rounded too. He's got very good grappling, good submissions. Takedowns are just okay. I wouldn't say he has the worst wrestling, but it's okay. Striking also, it's a working progress. I'm not saying it's awful again, but it is solid. He's durable. He's got good cardio as well. So this is going to be a really good fight. And Moises is very good, but I do think the more dangerous guy is going to be Saint Denis. And I like what I see from him. Not to say that Thiago is not good, because he's looked really good in his last fight against Costa, making his UFC debut. And he looked, well, Christos Giagos is not a good look there. But Alexander Hernandez, at that time, he was doing really good, and he got a decision. And then, he's losing to really good guys. But I think Benoit's on this like little run here where he's gonna make this one. This is gonna be a close fight. I think this fight goes to decision, but I do think he wins this fight. I think he can get this fight down to the mat and stay safe if he's on top. On the feet, I do think it'll be close, but I think Benoit's gonna be landing the harder shots, and he's gonna be the one pushing forward as well. So I think that's just gonna look better to the judges if it's a close striking fight. So give me Benoit Saint-Denis to win. I'm going to say by decision, but I wouldn't be shocked again if Saint-Denis gets a knockout here like he did in his last fight against Bonfim. Moises, I mean, he's not the most dangerous guy, but he can get, a finish. But it would have to be like a submission, and I don't think it's going to be able to submit Saint-Denis. So bets wise, I like Benoit Saint-Denis money line. I think it's around -150, -160 right now. You can look at the over as a sneaky over. It might be plus money in this fight if you don't want to pick a side. But yeah, this is going to be a very good fight. Co-main event, it's going to be Manon Fiorot versus Rose Namajunas. The return. Fiorot is 10-1, 33 years old, 5'7", 66-inch reach, and Rose is 11-5, 31 years old, 5'5", with a 65-inch reach. So Fiorot, very good striker with power, good leg kicks, can wrestle, as we've seen. She's gotten takedowns in last few fights. She does have pretty good top control. Good ground and pound. She doesn't really go for submissions or anything. She just wants to stay on top and just stay and make sure she's safe. Throws tons of volume, durable, good cardio. Rose Namajunas moving up to flyweight. I don't think she's ever fought at flyweight. At least I don't believe so. Unless it's like earlier in her career. Very good striker, good kicks. She does have good grappling if the fight gets to the mat. Her takedowns are just okay. She's durable, good cardio. Um, she does have pretty decent submissions. Little red flag though. I mean, we don't know where her head's at right now. Um, I'm a fan of Rose, but there was a few times. I mean, the car as far as the fight, I don't know what she was thinking, and yeah, I don't know where she's gonna be at. I question the move up a weight class as well. I think she's gonna be a little bit. I mean, she might be quicker, but I think Pro is very quick on her with her hands too. I don't think she's losing all any power that she's gonna have because these girls at flyweight are beasts, and I literally the beast is Manon Pro. So yeah. I mean, I think Manon Pro is gonna win this fight. I just question why Rose is moving up to flyweight, which is a big red flag to me actually. And I don't know if she's just doesn't have the confidence and that she's going to be able to win at strawweight anymore. So she wants to try flyweight. I don't know. But either way, if I take that out of the equation, I do think Manon Pro still wins this fight. She's got good volume. She's going to land the harder shots. She can wrestle. She can take down Rose. Rose doesn't have the greatest takedown defense. And I think she'll be able to, and she's the bigger fighter, and she'll be able to stay on top and control Rose and control. I mean, Rose would have to throw up some submissions off her back to maybe get up. But other than that, I mean, everything to me screams like Manon Pro is going to win this fight. So with my pick, give me Manon Pro. I think she does get this done by decision. Like Rose is pretty tough, like I said. So I don't think she's going to be like get knocked out or anything. But it wouldn't shock me because Manon Pro is a different beast at flyweight. So bets you can look at minus 180 is not bad. We'll see if there's going to be more Rose love later on in the week. You can look at the over in this fight too. I think both like Manon Rose got a couple knockouts, but it was against Tabitha Ritchie, who is super small, like even smaller than Thug Rose. She took that fight on short notice, and Victoria Leonardo. That's all I'm gonna say. These other girls, decisions. So I think this fight goes to decision, but I think Manon Pro is gonna win this one. Main event, we got Cyril Gane versus Sergey Spivac. Gane is 11-2, 33 years old, 6'4", 81-inch reach, and Spivac is 16-3, 28 years old, 6'3", with a 78-inch reach. So Cyril Gane, super technical striker, very good kicks, good, decent power. He doesn't have that one touch knockout power like Derek Lewis or something in the heavyweight division, but he's very quick with all of his strikes. He's got good cardio. He's pretty durable. He's durable as well. He did get knocked down once in the Tai Tuivasa fight, but he got back up. He showed good recovery. Takedown defense, though, not that great, especially against okay wrestlers. And this is going to be a good test for him against someone who can wrestle and one of the better wrestlers in the division, which is worrisome. Spivac, very good wrestler with very good takedowns, good trips. He can do double legs, single legs, any kind of takedowns. Once he gets a hold of you, he doesn't let go. I wouldn't say he's the quickest guy. He's kind of like not really agile like Cyril Gane is, but like I said, very strong. He got a good ground and pound. He does have good submissions when he's on top. And sometimes like he has a lot of takedown. He averages a lot of takedowns in his fights, but I really feel like part of his game plan is to take him down, and he kind of like just weighs on his opponent, and then he sort of lets him get back up, and then just takes him down again, and just rinse and repeat until his opponent is pretty much tired from trying to get back up and Spivac putting all of his weight on him. Because I do think he has better top control than he's shown, but for some reason, I think that's just part of his game. He likes to throw people down and try and see if they can get back up. And if they do, he's like, okay, I'm just gonna throw you right back down. So he does it. But he's pretty durable. His striking is not on Gane's level at all. But I mean, it's serviceable, but he's a wrestler. He wants to clinch up with you and get a hold of you and take this fight to the mat. So very interesting fight here. Normally, I would say Gane all day, but you know what? I said Gane all day a couple times, and I even said Gane should win against John Jones because I wasn't too confident of John Jones being off for that long. And look what John Jones did to Cyril Gane. He was one move away from beating Nagano to be the champion until he tried to go for a leg lock instead, and that was a foolish move. I don't know why he did that, but he did. Um, this is going to be an easy breakdown. Do you think Cyril Gane's going to be able to stuff the takedowns? And if you say yes, then Cyril Gane should win on the feet all day. If you say no, then Spivac should be able to win. He should be able to control him on the mat. He should be able to take him down. Cyril Gane's not a huge heavyweight, so this shouldn't be, hard for Spivac to get Cyril Gane down. He was able to wrestle Derek Lewis down. So, um, let me get to my prediction here. I know I've been talking a lot. I'm gonna go with Cyril Gane here one more time. I do think the striking advantage is gonna be uh, bigger, it's wider than the grappling and wrestling advantage Spivac's going to have, which is going to have a big advantage. But I do think Gane's going to be able to get up on his feet and do better with the get ups than a lot of the other heavyweights because he does have way better cardio than a lot of the bigger heavyweights. He can probably get up at least like 5, 6 times in a row without being gassed like Derek Lewis. Because after Derek Lewis got up 3 times, Derek Lewis didn't want to be in there anymore. So Cyril Gane, though, I think he'll get taken down, but I think he'll be able to survive and get back up and drag this fight into the later rounds and just stay at range, use his kicks, and pretty much get Spivac out of there as the fight goes on. I think he'll be able to get a late second or third round knockout. But would it shock me if Spivac gets him down a couple times in the first round and the second round hits, the same thing happens and Spivac gets a knockout or a ground and pound knockout or something? That wouldn't shock me either. So, but I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna give Gane one more opportunity here. I'm going with the striker, and we'll see what happens. For bets, I don't mind anybody going the underdog route here. He has a clear path to victory. Gane also has a clear path to victory too. So it just depends on which, path you think is going to happen more times than not. And I wouldn't look at the under here. I think it's going to be set at 2.5 if I saw correctly. It's not on my book yet, but under 3.5 would be fantastic. I think that hits all day, but under 2.5, it could be a little dicey, but I would lean maybe the under, maybe put that in a parlay if you maybe like, under 3.5 or fight doesn't start round 5 or something like that. But that's how I would attack this. But this is going to be an interesting fight. We'll see where Spivac's made of. This is going to be his biggest test of yet. And see if Gane has worked on his defensive grappling and or takedown defense. But all right, guys, that is it for me. Like I said, we only had 10 fights, a little bit shorter this time. Thank you everybody for watching. Always appreciate that. Please hit that like button on your way out, subscribe as well. Leave some comments below on your favorite fights on if you don't agree with any of my picks, totally cool. Tell me where I'm off. Tell me what I'm missing or anything like that. As always, Thursday nights, me and Cody from Blood Money MMA Bets will be going live and break down and talk to everybody in the chat. So I believe this week is going to be on Cody's channel. And so definitely check that out Thursday night, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And also this week for UFC Paris, since it is an early start at 12 p.m. Eastern time, we're probably going to do a fight companion. I don't know exactly what channel, but we will let everybody know. We'll post it on Twitter and all that stuff. And then definitely come out and hang out with us in one of our channels and we'll watch some fights and do some crazy bets and drink and have fun. So always love doing that for you. Always on the early ones, but that's all I got for you. Like I said, thank you everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. And until next time,